Welcome to Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma. Now the moon is full in Pisces and Mercury goes retrograde in Libra on Saturday the 10th of September. So I thought rather than let the messages get lost in astrological translation, it'd be better if we sat cross-legged in my room with a candle in our jammies and I gave you a good old-fashioned tarot reading instead. Let's drop into our intuition. Let's explore dreamland together and let's get Pisces. Let's get psychic. If you'd like to support the work, you can always head over to buymeacoffee.com/UmaRuby and put some money in the tip jar. But other than that, relax and let's see what happens. Hello, Pisces. I feel you. I feel you wanting to run away, wanting to walk away, wanting to just drop it and leave. I feel the battle and the pessimism and the nastiness of this information. We'll get to it, and I wonder if it's coming from an external source or I wonder if it's coming from your own brain. I wonder if you're in a place of self-criticism or stillness, which then leaves open the window for self-criticism, but you're kind of wanting to throw the towel in quite strongly. I see that. I also see the fear that you have about not being able to stand in your own power and not having the skills to provide a nice life for yourself or to maintain a rhythm of work and commitment. I also see magic in your energy, real strong. And I also see the Pisces full moon. The Hanged One is Pisces energy. The Hanged One looks like they're in peril, looks like they're in bondage, that they've been strung up by a tree and they've just lost their way and they're completely in trauma. But they've decided to go with the flow in the only way that a Pisces really knows how to do, is to find that flow and that rhythm and to actually let go, to really let go. And from that point of complete release comes the enlightenment and comes the gold again, the magic. If you see that, look at that magic that's happening there and here. I'm going to pull some more cards, I think, Pisces, because I like this and I want to know more. So what's this Five of Swords, please? What's this Five of Swords here? Yeah, the High Priestess in reverse. Eight of Pentacles. And the Tower. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you've lost the connection to your inner goddess, or you're worried that you have. You've perhaps thought your way out of it. You've intellectualized, or you've become cerebral enough that that feeling of connection, that real knowing, that inner secret, that inner wisdom has become a little harder to gain. You've been trying to make magic and to make it happen and to start and to trust and to roll with the flow of the universe. And you've been working really hard at it too. You've been nose to the grindstone in some way. And in some way, let's have a look at it. Like maybe it's the approach that's a little backward, but I don't know, like there's something kind of like, you've been trying really hard, Pisces. You really have. I really admire and appreciate and love you for it. What you don't see is this coming on up. Something's about to give, and something's about to intervene from a far grander vantage point. There's something, you're being watched and you're being encouraged and it's being recognized that you're feeling less in touch with your magic and less in touch with your abilities and what it is that you're here for and what it is that you're trying to say and put forward. And so slowly, gently, something is building here. You must never ever feel that you're doing it wrong, and you must never ever let anyone tell you to banish negative thinking. And if you just stop thinking negatively, you're bringing it upon yourself and all of that rubbish. That is so hurtful and so damaging to anybody with a friggin' conscience, with that anyone that's lived a life. We can't help the patterns that our experience sometimes draws us back into. That's what shadow work is for. We don't do shadow work to banish the shadow at all. We do shadow work to learn from our shadow and to go there. So if there's anyone in your environment that's telling you that you just need to manifest positively and stop thinking so nego, then they can take their advice and they can do with it what they wish. I just stopped myself from saying a whole bunch of really mean stuff, but I'm not going to do that, Pisces. All right, so I've got the Queen of Cups in reverse here. And I've got the 10 of Cups upright. And the 3 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, there's something that I want to say about projection here, and remember that Neptune's in Pisces right now as well, so there is that maybe that potential to possibly want to skip to the end in some way. I think with the 9 of Pentacles in reverse too, that's sort of telling, isn't it? It's sort of like sometimes when you look out to the future, or you sort of think to yourself, okay, so where would I rather be, or what am I doing this for? What do I wish to achieve? It can be really scary when you don't have an answer. And then that can sometimes open up a door of existential void. And that is where it sort of becomes difficult to, there's no plan. There's just a river. And when we become detached from the way that nature can move us and the way that the way that she tries to heal us in the best way that she knows how. Remember, we're a part of something much bigger than ourselves, and we are connected to everything. And that can sometimes be a bit of especially when you want to swim deep, that can be a really annoying thing to hear, and you're sort of like, oh, I'm attached to everything. But I know from experience that when the emotional body is needing some attention, and when you need to really feel some feelings and to go with that, that's when the existentialism can come out. And it's the tricky part of being so intuitive and so in tune and so perceptive, is that to protect yourself sometimes you'll cut off, and then that leads to the void, and that leads to no direction. And then that can also lead to not knowing what to look forward to. But why is the Magician here? Four of Pentacles, the Sun in reverse, and the King of Cups. There's something about an ego death here that I really like. There's something about hanging on to a perspective for too long that it sort of limits the flow. I think, water is definitely it needs to be managed, but it also needs to move. And I don't know if for whatever, I know that this is a Capricorn card as well. So there is that sort of stoicness about the Four of Pentacles, which is, we sort of hang on to, especially when we have little, we sort of hang on to all that we got, or our way of being, or our way of knowing, our way of understanding and perceiving things. Sun in reverse is a beautiful image to me of an ego death, of sort of dropping your personality, dropping into something. And there's many different ways to achieve that. I know that my mum gets up every morning to drop her ego and jumps into the ice cold ocean to level out and to stop thinking and to really just reset. There are many different ways for our ego to take a seat. Many different ways that we can conjure that, and we can ask for that, because this fear of being the Queen of Cups in reverse, we've got this to look forward to through our magic. And I think that Pisces, out of a lot of different signs, Pisces really rely on their magic to make sense of the world and to make sense of their emotions and their water, excuse me. Pisces are, one of the deepest oceans to swim, and it's difficult. Your arms can get exhausted. The magic is there to help us and to help us make sense of all that we're absorbing. Why is the Hanged One here? Why is the Hanged One here? I think I know why it's here, but why is it here? The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The Two of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles. Frustrating, but that Wheel of Fortune's in reverse. You're wanting to start something, you're wanting to get something activated. This is why you've been working so hard, and this is why you've been so petrified that you've got nothing to show for it. And this is why you've gone on the precipice of slipping into something a bit dangerous and existential. How do you eat? I'll start again. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's more advice from my mum. But this is the sentiment of the whole reading, I think, Pisces. You're doing a lot of juggling here. It's a balancing act that's going on, and it's to get to this state. I don't know. Seems to be a lot of Pentacles energy in this reading. There's a fear of lack, or there's a fear of not having enough, or not having the stuff to continue producing in order to gain the coin, to set yourself up. You're skipping a whole bunch of steps here. I've got the 8 and the 9 down here, but the 9's in reverse. It's sort of like this Pisces full moon for us is to not give a F about worldly matters, and it's about the magic. That's what you need to hang on to, and what you need to do is to remember the magic, and remember how that makes you feel, and remember when you achieve it, how inexplicably blissful it feels to have pulled it off. I'm going to show you something. I haven't used it today, but I'll tell you real quick. There's a tarot deck here. It's called the Chinese Tarot. And long story short, this journey that I've just read out to you is mine. I have been feeling exactly this reading. to have it come out in the cards and to express it and to explain it to you is one example of the magic working, isn't it? Another one is 2 days ago I was visiting with a lovely friend I hadn't seen for a while, and she's staying with another friend of ours, and I was reading tarot and Beck, who owns the place that we were at, said to me, "Oh, I've not used my tarot deck in ages. It's over there on the shelf." And it was the Chinese tarot. I pulled it down and I went through every single card, just looking at these incredible images, these beautiful drawings, and beautiful new perspective of the tarot. There's a lot for me to learn here in terms of Taoism and a different vantage point to look at this practice. So I went through every card and then I put it back in the box and I put it back on the shelf. And then I travelled home the next day. I stayed the night and I travelled home the next day, and I got into my bedroom. I opened the door, and on my bed was sitting the Chinese tarot. And I still had my bag on, and I thought, oh gosh, I've stolen it. I've put it in my bag. But then I was like, is there a hole in my bag? No, I haven't moved. And so I picked up the deck, and my mum came out of the shower and she said to me, "Oh, you've got the deck, darling." They were Nana's, my grandma. My mum is my grandmother's carer at the moment, so she's there very often, sort of going about the day and doing bits and bobs. And she went through a drawer looking for a glasses case and found the Chinese tarot and asked Nana if she knew what it was, and Nana's 85 and had no idea, and asked if it was okay if she could give it to me. And so Mum popped it on my bed as a present. Probably would have happened at the exact same time that I was looking at this deck at Beck's place. Now, some people would say that that's a happy coincidence, but because we're Pisces, we know that it's magic. That's the end of the reading. I love you, Pisces. Happy full moon.